It's you. You're alive. You get it? Sure. Nice. Just looking at that bike we're working on. Yeah.
Hold on, you gotta turn that music off. We'll use the video. You gotta turn the music off. You will do the audio.
Right. That's right. The other one's just controlling this. We'll figure it out. Is this one wired? It all needs to be wired. This one? Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Where should I sit?
Right over there, boy.
All right. Is the mics working?
Hold on, I can't get the. I don't actually have the FX.
Oh God.
I know, but. Right over there, boy.
All right. Do you want headphones? The mics working?
Hold on, I can't get the. I don't actually have the.
Do you want to plug into this? Check this out. Oh God. Are the mics working?
They appear big.
You know what we could do if we're having trouble? Maybe the better way to run this is to run. Do you want headphones? The mic's working? Can you get mic from the Elgato?
Hey guys, are we live?
Do you want to plug into this? Check this out. Okay. Are the mics working?
They appear big.
You know what we could do if we're having trouble? Maybe the better way. Make sure everyone can hear us. Just awesome. Can you get? Is that helpful, bud? These are that guys.
Hey guys, are we live?
Do you want to plug into this? What's that? Okay. Are the mics working?
They appear big.
You know what we could do if we're having trouble? Maybe the awesome. We're good to go. Make sure everyone can hear us. Oh no, the mic audio is coming. Is that helpful, bud? These are that guys.
Hey guys, are we live?
Do you want to plug into this? What's that? Wireless product. Probably do not want this. Is there another? Awesome. We're good to go. Make sure everyone can hear us. Oh no, the mic. Okay, so we're going to mute this. Is that clean? What's that? Wireless product. Probably do not want this. It's delayed. Is there another? Awesome. We're good to go. Oh, you know why? Oh no, the mic. Okay, so we're going to mute this. Is that clean? Yeah. Can you hear me now? I don't know. The monitor might not be working. Never mind. This might just be. Can people hear us all right? Was it sounding good at least?
It's showing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're doing our best here, everyone. We're sorry. Well, maybe we're not doing our best. But anyways, welcome to yet another fantastic night.
That was a good sound.
That was a great sound. Did it capture well? Anyone in the audience? I'm old now, so there's like a bright light in my face, and it's like driving at night, and I'm gonna probably just stay home if this is, it's not safe to be here. Anyway. What?
Driving into the headlights?
Yeah. I'm making no sense. But anyways, welcome to tonight's show where we're gonna test something. It's springtime. We're putting our seeds in the ground. Some of us are, getting further along, putting some trees and whatnot, and depending on where you are, if you're further south, you're probably really growing. We're up in the north, so we're just getting there. And we want to know what we do to our soil to make it actually perform really well. People, will come here and talk about how they're struggling with their soils and ask what to add, and it's a question of, well, what do we have to start with, and what are we trying to accomplish? So we're going to look at some soils tonight, do some testing, talk about some of my skepticisms of soil testing, and just ultimately when it works, when it doesn't, when it can be misleading, and when it can be helpful.
Yeah. When you should versus when does it really matter if it's like?
Yeah, that's okay. I was talking earlier, and when it really, ironically, the best soil analysis would be on a hydroponic system. Because you have, because at the end of the day, right, you're trying to find consistency. And the only purely consistent environment from like a liquid, is a hydroponic environment, right? Soil always has like gradients, there's different things going on, in the extreme, you look in a yard, right? And I remember I used to be a landscaper, right? And this is the most extreme example. If there was a yard that was under fertilized, there would be these green rings with yellow in the middle, right? So some animal was pooping in the lawn or peeing, and it was like over fertilizing, and then outside of the ring was like the perfect level of fertilizer, and then we go yellow again to lack of fertilizer. And it was like, depending on where you took a sample in that yard, if you took one right in the middle, outside, or right on the ring, you know, and so I think if you have a cornfield that's been evenly applied fertilizer, soil samples are very helpful. But argue with me. Please, someone, anyone out there have an argument?
So
It's just the two of us. Does anyone
actually,
wanna,
this book, the kit you have, just this one.
We got a lot of books. A lot.
This one.
I mean, 1, 2.
Soil sampling accuracy. So you have to account for the variation in your soil when you're going to take the sample to test. And then you have to make sure that you're accounting for the fact that you took all these different samples and you need to homogenize it, then test it. You also have to account for the changes that might occur either after you've sampled or while you're sending your sample out.
That's a great point. It's funny, and to that point, my sister sent me an old lawn soil test sample, and the thing I was looking for, because I think lawns, nitrogen was nitrogen, but they don't even test for nitrogen. Because, and apparently that's pretty common because nitrogen's so fleeting.
Yeah, you could just dump some on. Yeah.
But it also, to me, was what's going on with the lawn when I look at it.
Yeah.
Especially like, yeah, it seemed like because everything else was pretty dialed, and yet the lawn's not doing great. But I get it. Like, I don't know why they don't test for nitrogen. The reasoning I saw was it changes so quickly.
Yeah, and it's not super useful if there's, because you can just add some and also wash it away again.
It's so quick.
Yeah. So, but there's other things in the soil that are not mobile that aren't going to wash away. There's other things that, even if they are mobile, they can move around in the soil depending on the moisture levels.
Yep. All right, if you were to run one test in a yard, a lawn, one test in a raised bed, and one test in a potting mix, what would they be for each? That's a good question, right? Was that not, that was an interesting question. Anyone in the audience can answer that too.
I got an even better question from the audience.
Yeah?
Hank Derbs. He
What's
says,
up, Hank?
Ever heard of a microbiometer? He says he wants to get one soon.
We were
It tests
talking
for-
about that earlier.
Let's
Yes.
go.
Oh, is that what
That's what you're, the microbiometer.
oh yes, getting the sample done, yes.
Yep.
I was thinking about the device you were mentioning to test for,
Oh yeah, that too.
particular wavelength of, I'm not even gonna try. You know what? I'm gonna stop.
A UV vis or it's a UV
JT understands.
spectrometer, spectrophotometer. He's talking about the biological test that you were talking about sending out
Yeah.
to see it tests for I think fungus versus bacteria or protozoa level.
Yep.
And tries to compare because depending on what you're growing and depending on what your goal is for the soil, basically, there's going to be a different level of bacteria versus fungi. And I think really you want more fungus when you're growing your plants rather than high bacteria is like when you're composting to prepare that soil. Like if you're mixing your own super soil, you want it to cook a little bit first. You don't want it to be really hot right on the plants.
It's not ready for the plants.
Yeah, because the bacteria is going to break stuff down. And
Do you think I'd be interested to compare a compost sample and maybe ChatJT can answer this or something, but would there be, is it that, I understand the ratios are different, but does the fungal count stay the same and the bacteria drops way off? How does that look, Or is it just bacteria drops, fungus increases over time? Which makes sense, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Fungi kind of breaks down the stuff nothing else can.
like slowly and
slowly, stable, and also you think about a lot of fungi is very like a really healthy plant soil is going to have tons of mycorrhizae.
yeah.
Ultimately,
So
right?
work
So
with the plant.
it's a good sign, yeah. If you don't have a lot of fungus, you don't have a lot of roots,
Yeah.
I guess, or maybe, yeah. Cool. Oh wait, so yeah, what were the tests?
For the potting soil, I would probably test iron.
Cool.
Are we talking about used or like getting ready to plant in?
Like, what would you guess? Like, someone comes to you in like your yard. What would you guess would be the issue first? Potting soil. I actually could do this. Like,
Yeah.
yard, potting soil, raised bed.
Yeah, and I'm guessing probably the non-mobile ingredients or aspects of it are going to be probably depleted in your garden because you just grew everything in there last
Yeah.
year. It's what's getting eaten up and it's not moving up and down in the soil because
Yep.
of bacteria.
I feel like potting soil, calcium's or iron.
Calcium and iron, yeah.
Iron and nitrogen probably in lawns, depending on where you are for lawns.
Oh, right here is a, what is it, this Coast of
Oh.
Maine?
Oh yeah. Mandy took a test.
Yep.
Thanks, Mandy. This was like a year ago. Take a look at that. And so this was a Coast of Maine test she ran for Coast of Maine Stonington blend. Very cool. Do you want to?
Yes.
Yeah. How should we do this? Should we present this to you guys? Yeah. What's the best way?
So this is their like super fertilized soil. Believe some of the micronutrients were pretty low, but they went real high on a few of the other things.
Could we take like a screenshot of that and keep it up or something? That's wait. I just put a lot on this plate, didn't I? Because that'd be sick, right? Because then we could keep it up there. And should we start running the test too? Is that,
Yeah,
is it going
let's
to take
do
a
that.
while?
Yeah,
and
'cause
then we
some
can
of them-
start talking, yeah.
Some of them take a few minutes in between. So let's sample some soil.
And then we'll talk about this. Yeah, that's a great idea because the soil test does take some time.
Yep.
So let's do it. Where do we want to sample? Do you want to do the big batch of soil we were working on?
Yeah.
Or up to you, JT. What's an interesting soil sample?
So do you have a mix that you're using just to plant?
Yeah,
plants in?
we've been using this, and this is the driver of my skepticism, right? Because this is what my yard looks like, and my potting soils tend to look like. And you can see there's some duckweed in here. There are leaves in here. There are rice hulls. There is straw. There is some old perlite from clearly a piece of green perlite, which comes from some nursery plant, I guess. There's a feather.
So you've re-amended the soil
Sand?
previously.
So there's a lot of things in here. Yeah. So I just mix old soils together quite often. And this is what a yard often, my yard looks like in a lot of ways. And so I always worry, right? Like, watch this, right? I take a handful of soil here. Let's look at that. Right there. Boom. Right? That's what that guy looks like. I'm going to put that in the other hand now. Let's take one from over here. Okay, that one actually looks very similar. Very similar. Come on, give me a different one. Give me a different one. Let's go over here. Okay, yeah. I don't know if you can see these two, right? And they look different, and they're gonna test differently because of that. Would you agree? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, so you have to account for that when you're taking the sample.
Okay.
And that can be a spot where people, if they're not having success trying to fix their fertilizer problems after doing a test, it's probably because they're not actually doing the test very well.
Fair. So when people are worried about pH with soil, if they are watering to runoff in a container, I suggest always testing runoff, right, whenever you can, because that's going to be, rather than taking, because traditionally people are told to take a chunk of soil and test for that, but instead the runoff,
Yeah,
to me, is like
you
the
want,
most consistent.
Yeah, because one spot in the soil might have like a piece of calcium in it or something.
Yeah, and you can even learn a lot by, like, if you're watering at a pH of 7 and it's coming out at 6, the pH of the soil is probably
Yeah,
what would,
More
it depends,
acidic,
actually,
yeah.
it really would depend. But more acidic than even 6. So, yeah, so let's watch you take a soil sample.
so if we were to say this is like a big portion of your yard.
A raised bed.
Okay, raised bed. You want to get samples from. So this is a. I don't know what it's actually called, but there's like a core device that you can dig down, and when you pull it out, it's going to have soil in it. So I'll do an example. So it's full of soil. I'm going to drop that in the bag. And so we've been in this corner. Let's go over to this corner. Get about an even amount, same as the last one. Gonna go over into this corner. You kind of made that there.
Can you show off that tool and describe what it is, just for the viewers?
It's a corer.
An apple core.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yep.
So it's meant for coring apples, but it
And I really need one of those for apple coring. It's funny that I have this here for soil sampling, and I'm an atrocious apple slicer, but I could really use a core.
Yeah, so you just stab it in and like twist around these little like serrations, dig through stuff. But you want to get all over where you're going to be, the soil that you're using. So throughout your yard, all different corners and as evenly as possible distributed. And then, so once you have a bunch of samples like that.
So would you get like one at the highest point, one at the lowest point?
Yeah, and everywhere.
What other character, like, if you were to take, how many samples would you recommend taking throughout your yard?
Depending on how big your yard is.
My yard.
Your yard.
Maybe we should do this at my yard.
Yeah.
And your raised bed. I'd be interested to see both of tests on stuff like, because my yard I'd be particularly worried about. My yard is so inconsistent.
Yeah. So you have hills, you have different gardens in different spots.
Coop.
Yeah.
I have, veggie gardens, raspberry, and it's very hilly.
You'd probably want to take a different sample and send in a different sample from each little area.
Yeah.
So that you know what's where.
Maybe my yard's giving me a skewed perspective.
If you have like a garden though that you're planting a bunch of plants in, like vegetables pretty consistently.
You're right. That's that's the area I should be. So I'm putting in some raised beds. I'm going to aggregate some soil there. That's what I should be testing because that's where my concern would be highest.
Yeah, and that's where you're going to be planting something and you're worried about those plants having deficiencies. You're going to want to test a few spots in that area and then keep it separate from another area that you're going to test for planting.
You're so right. Like the other area I'm immediately like, I need to test is my blueberry bushes. I have a big area with blueberries. And it's funny, I wish I'd tested them initially. I have about 30 plus bushes in that area, 10 varieties. And they start off pretty slow, and I've been just increasing the acidity with the assumption that that was the issue. And it's been doing well, but it's been slow because it's been a little bit of like try to increase the acidity, but don't push it too hard. But maybe if I'd done a soil test, I'd known exactly what to do.
Yep, and really, I think you want to do one, if you're worried about acidity and stuff, you want to do one probably in fall, so you know if you should lime or not.
Okay. Is that when you want to lime?
Yeah, because then it'll mix into the soil like over winter and have time to like really mix in and react with the soil.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I usually just lime
whenever.
All season. Yeah, spring and yeah.
It takes a
when
little
it looks
while.
like it needs lime. I will say lime has been, living in New England, it seems like my soil can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
It just can't. The more I add, the more I realize it needs more.
So
which would mean I should possibly do a soil test.
Yeah.
But
because you will have enough, once you do a soil test, you'll know how much you should dose it when it's being treated rather than underdosing it just enough that there's enough for the plants to take it up, but not enough that it's lasting in the soil.
That's a good point, yeah. I love using lime. Wagga, you might like this. Lime, it like binds with ammonia, I guess. So you sprinkle it in your coop and it totally reduces the ammonia smell. How's that
Oh
work?
yeah. I think that's a pH type thing. It's not allowing it to like form ammonia.
Okay. But yeah, it definitely works. And on top of it, it basically now I have like rice hulls mixed with lime, which is calcium and magnesium, and perfect ratios for plants, a 4-to-1 calcium to magnesium ratio, which is
It's your secret CalMag.
It's CalMag. It's here we like cocoa growers in particular are all hydro growers and container growers. They spend a fortune on liquid CalMag, and I think they spend so much because instead we sell 20-pound bags of organic lime.
Yep.
Right? It's like the equivalent in calcium and magnesium of what, 500 gallons of CalMag?
Yeah, but it's not in the same form, so it's like
It's not calcium, there's no nitrogen. But nonetheless, I think adding lime, like I'm surprised more cocoa growers aren't adding lime into their cocoa perlite mix. Like there should be like a 70-30 lime mix, because then you can hit it with like higher acidic feeds, they'll solubilize.
Yeah,
I think across the board,
react.
I'm gonna need to do a cocoa grow with some CalMag,
Some
lime. Yeah, I don't
just
know.
like have a pocket of it at the bottom.
I started doing that with like my tomatoes. Like last summer, I was doing 30-gallon tomatoes. I did 11 of them, and I was like, I'm not going to see blossom end rot this year. I was worried I was going to overdo it. I've never overdone lime, at least. You know, I could see overdoing lime might have unforeseen consequence, but I would put just massive amounts on the bottom of my tomato plants, and it was the best tomato harvest I've had. No cracking. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
So you want to get a pretty widely distributed sample.
Yeah.
If you're growing in your blueberries, they're going to have deeper roots probably.
Yep.
Your trees are going to have deeper roots. So you want to go not only around, spread out, but up like through the layers of soil. So you'll probably want to scrape some away. And this is just an example because this is all just a big bucket basically, but scrape away like a few inches, probably 6 inches or so, and then go deep down and do that also in the different spots that you got your previous samples.
So do one, say again, so one higher up from the top.
Yep.
And then one how far deep?
Probably like half a foot, 2 feet, if you can get that deep.
2 feet?
Yeah,
So
like
dig down. Should you
think
start
about
like
where
if
the
you're
roots
dig-
are going to be.
If you like are digging, I remember when I was in Colorado, it was nuts. It would be like, literally, I could peel my grass off because it was like hard packed clay underneath that.
Yep.
And it's almost like I wouldn't have needed to test the clay, I don't think, because roots were just not penetrating that.
And
but maybe the knowledge, but then again, the knowledge of that would make you want to apply something that would break it down.
And having that, so the clay can bind potassium, and depending on the soil test, you just have to know like the clay content. And so that's why a lot of them will offer to do like, I think it's like a humus to clay ratio, so you can test that and see like sand content. So you want to know like the texture, the makeup of the soil, as well as the chemistry, because that'll give you a better idea of like, well, I know that I have this dry clay soil. It's probably actually got some potassium in there that I can't see in this test.
See, that's my favorite soil test personally is like honestly just taking a shovel and like digging it and being like, okay.
Taste test.
Yeah.
It needs salt.
Yeah. Lots of the potato stuff.
Yeah. More worms.
More potato, more worm.
So you're going to get a wide variety of different spots, a bunch of them, hopefully. The more the merrier, kind of. And then you want to homogenize it. So you want to make sure it's mixed very well. So if you're doing this for your yard and you have like a dozen different soil samples, you probably want a bigger container to do this in. And you kind of want to time when you do it. You don't want to do it right after it rains or something, because then a bunch of stuff will be washed away, or stuff can be brought to the surface if it's right after it rained.
Yeah.
So you want it sort of at the average moisture level that you would see this garden at.
So what would happen if it was too wet, too dry?
Too wet, it can just run off a bunch of like the stuff that's in there, like salt soluble ones. Too dry, some of the stuff like some of the potassium and calciums, I think, get wicked up with the evaporating water. So it'll be sitting at the surface. And if you just take surface samples or you don't
Wow,
get
so temporarily,
yeah.
some of the nutrients are wicked upward. So when, that's an interesting, so say again, which ones, when excessive drying occurs, are wicked towards the surface? Potassium, you said?
Yeah, and
I know
believe,
nitrogen's mobile.
Yeah.
Like, so probably the mobile ones are moved. Yeah. So we literally
they're
wrote a blog
soluble.
post. I got to
Yeah.
go look at that 5 years ago. I got to reread that.
So the reason that they're moving is because they're in the water.
Yes.
And they're in a salt form, so it's traveling wherever that water goes. And as the water gets to the surface, those salts aren't going to evaporate, but the water is. Think about when you leave like.
So it gets more concentrated, you're saying?
Yeah, and
So, and then
it's also pulled with the liquid water that's in the soil, as it's being pulled out of the lower part.
And it
up
dries.
Yep.
And then as it dries, the concentration wants to stay in equilibrium. There's less water.
But it's
so
not.
wouldn't there be less?
It doesn't have anything forcing it to like or allowing it to move away.
Got it.
So think about if you like had a cup of salt water and you left it out.
Yep.
You know how it all just like crystallizes?
Of course, yeah.
So if you do that in soil, it's probably gonna wick it up to the top and then crystallize there.
Got it. So you'll have concentrated.
Yeah, more concentrated.
Fascinating.
Same thing can happen through cloth and paper bags.
You know what's interesting about that? You think about like the dry back, like certain plants, particularly like I'm learning about like citrus really like have roots at the surface.
Yep.
And like does drying, it creates a concentration of nutrients where their roots are most prolific.
Yeah.
Do they want that? Or I feel like because they live in very wet climates, they probably don't love that.
Yeah, probably not.
They probably don't like being dry at the top.
But I think because they have enough moisture up there, they don't have to dig down.
I'm not good enough at citrus growing. Although I was starting to go downhill, I was having a calcium or a magnesium and iron deficiency. I was psyched. I foliar sprayed CalMag with microbe feed,
Yeah.
and it totally flipped it.
Really?
And I just never.
Nice.
Anytime my citrus starts going downhill, I cannot recover. Although, so I should knock on, take real wood, because I'm probably counting my citrus before they flower.
Yeah.
Watch them tomorrow, I'll be dead.
They're all dead. So you want it to be homogenized, so as well mixed as possible. This is a very small bag, so it's pretty easy to do.
That's pretty well mixed. Now, are we going to send that? Jeff's going to help. He's going to come out and he's going to help us in a bit. Or yeah, you want to come on by? Because Jeff's going to be the man. He's very well organized. He's much more organized than me.
I don't know about that.
So he's going to be reading off and making sure we get good samples to send out to labs. Maybe we do. I would love to send this one to UMass, maybe.
All right.
Or we'll pick one for this, and then we'll do the.
So what we should do is get as big of a sample as we want,
Okay.
homogenize it, and then split it to the different places we want to send it.
All right. So let's try to split it for 4 places, and will they all have the same requirements typically when you're doing a soil sample?
Usually. So what you'll want to do, microbes living in the soil can affect the different levels because they can produce ammonia, nitrates, phosphates, sulfates. I mean.
This is why I don't trust soil tests.
Well, so
Did we hear how many things that could go wrong during a soil test?
Well,
if it's too dry, too wet.
Yeah, but once you take it out of the environment, it's no longer the same environment. It's something different, and it's changing because soil is not a static. What am I not using?
No. It's awesome because it's just you. So I'm gonna fix this for you, bud.
Oh, okay. So it's just.
No, it wasn't your fault. We gave you that mic. Maybe we should. Wait.
I like it.
I kind of liked it. Wait, do you
It's
want
like
the
an
mic?
interviewer.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Okay, never mind. Why did I mess with good? I'm sorry, guys. I
so-
love the mic.
We're actually not getting feedback off that one, so he's going to either have to ask one or something, because that mic's not showing up right now, just so you're aware.
Okay.
What
So
if
you
we
don't
take
have
it out
one.
then?
Yeah, we're good. We're getting rid of that mic. We're getting rid of that mic.
So to account for the fact that things can change because the microbes are alive, to keep it as stable as possible and most similar to what the chemistry of your actual soil is, you want to dry it out at room temperature.
Okay.
So drying it out at room temperature allows all the salts to stay in the soil, so it's not going to be wicked out through a paper bag or something like that. Kills all the microbes, so they're not reacting anything. They're not producing different salts and different concentrations in different spots. So once it's all dry and homogenized, you can then package it to send out. And the companies will tell you what to put it in to send it to them. But you don't want to like cook it, because that can change the salt contents and burn off certain things. I don't know what's happening over there.
Me neither. I don't even know if I could be heard, but
It's
now you wouldn't want
almost.
to heat it up, because that would change some of the chemical composition, right?
Yeah.
Room temperature?
Yeah, room temperature. If you heat it up too much, it can change some of the. It can cause reactions
just
to happen
yell at his neck.
and burn off some.
Just yell closer to
some
his neck.
Pieces like carbons and things like that.
Makes sense.
So, I'd say this is pretty homogeneous. Let's get. Were you filling in the soil sample
I
case?
have no idea, to be honest with you.
So it'll tell you how much they want, because they're going to run a bunch of tests on it. We have our chemistry set over here, so we're going to run some today. I have the instruction books, some
JT.
samples. Oh,
There you go.
got it right
Let's
on the
see.
screen here.
Testing. Does this work?
I can't see very well, so I'm going to walk
Wait,
up.
we
to
want the orange top or the gray top?
I don't think it matters.
It matters a lot. It's
Okay.
everything.
Okay, so those are results.
Yep, this is a sample result from
Oh, that's an old one.
2007. Why there's not enough lead in this soil?
It's not enough lead.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't want my kids reading.
Oh, another thing to be aware of is if you put it in a paper
fix
bag,
this.
some of the processes of making paper can affect the chemistry of the soil. So sometimes there can be like boron and molybdenum that get leached into the soil sample.
And that's not good.
No, because then it'll throw off some of your micronutrient if you're testing for that.
It's better. Real close. Just clip it, dude.
Test for the fungal biomass, bacterial biomass, moisture. And so if you want it to get there as quick as possible if you're testing for moisture on top of everything else, because again, the microbes in there will react with different chemicals and create changes in the soil as it's shipping. And depending on the temperatures can affect things too. There's some mealworms in here.
Oh yeah, little guys.
All right, do you want to start doing some of the tests, Matt?
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right, I'm very curious about this, because
I'll come over in a second. I'm gonna fix some mine.
So, you got a bag of homogenized dirt.
yay!
What a treat. So let's do our set up our first one. I'm thinking so not only can you do some of these tests on the soil, you can do it on the wet plant matter to be able to test for what levels of nitrates and stuff are in your plant actually.
Now, when you say wet plant matter, you mean just pull some leaves off or something?
Get some leaves and grind them up into like a paste and
Oh,
do the same sample test.
oh, that's really cool. I imagine the results, expected results would be very different, but
Yeah, yeah, definitely, because you're not going to have the same levels of stuff in your plant as you are in the soil, because the plant's just
filtering it out, yeah.
pulling it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's do the pH test. So we have a test tube.
All right.
704. 204, not 704. We're gonna fill this up
Testing?
halfway. Oh, before you start doing your soil testing and everything, if you have multiple different soil samples that you're gonna send out, Or if you were working in your garden or working with your plants or fertilizer, wash your hands pretty well, get everything off, make sure the soap's pretty cleared off because that can have different effects on the chemicals as well. Make sure your table, I cleaned these tables twice before we started so that there would be no fertilizers left over because these tests can be pretty sensitive to if there's like a trace amount of fertilizer on the table or on your hands. So I prepared for that and made sure I don't have any of that on me.
Now, if you have access to them, what are your thoughts on latex gloves? Does that just eliminate any contamination concerns, at least from the hands?
Yeah. I don't know that probably as long as they're powder free and nitrile or something, it's probably fine. Or probably a good idea to make sure you're not getting anything on them.
Yeah, exactly.
So this one's a pH test we're going to do on this.
Cool.
So
Do
we
you want
got,
me to assist you? Do you need me to grab anything?
sure. We're probably going to have to shake this
wait.
in a second. Do you want to be the shaker while I set up another test?
Check this out. Is the audio better now that I put this like that? Is that good? Yeah? Better?
Excellent.
Better? Worse? Worse. Worse. Oh no. Better? Still terrible? What?
It sounds like you're in a box.
I'm in a box? Not on a boat though.
You sound so far away.
Do I?
All right, so now what is that? That's extracting solution.
Yeah, I'm looking for the follicating solution. Here it is. So
Follicating, is that like
flocculating.
flocculating? Okay, I was thinking
Yeah,
like
it's-
hair follicles or something.
No, yeah, no, it's when you're gathering your flock. At least I think so.
All right, so what does this substance do?
This substance, I think it separates some of the salts from the soil, releases them so they can be in the liquid. I'm not entirely sure though. We should look that up. So this one this is demineralized water, so it doesn't have any like calcium ions or anything like that. It's got these like microbeads in there that bind to everything so that,
Okay, because it looked like there was color in there.
yeah, it's these little like,
Yeah, if you can get a close-up, because that looks pretty funky. It's like sand, but more floaty.
yeah, I think they're like some sort of polymer. So we're gonna fill this up till it's 1/2 inch.
Half an inch from the top, I take it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we got a cap. We're gonna shake it up until it's well dispersed. And that's pretty well dispersed. If I can get the cap off. Now we're gonna add the flocculating.
Almost sounds like a dirty word.
Yeah, it's an F word.
I mean, that is true, but kids don't say flocculating at home. It's not appropriate.
And we're gonna shake this. Ooh,
Whoa.
oh.
Quick hands.
They don't balance very well. All right,
So, yep, shake, 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 shake.
now it needs to settle a bit before we can actually do the test.
All right, when you say a bit, what do you mean?
We need all the dirt to just basically fall down to the bottom, and I think the flocculating helps that happen. And then I have a pipette. Then I'm going to transfer 1 milliliter of it into the depression plate.
All right. Well, I mean, is this going to take long enough that we should start getting ready for the next test, or
Yeah, we can do that.
might as well get all the materials?
Next one we're gonna do, let's go, well, let's start the extraction so that we can do the other test. It's the same extraction for the rest of the tests pretty much.
All right. Hopefully not the same test tube size, because then we might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. No, we have a bunch of test tubes. Extraction tube.
Oh, now that's a test tube.
Hello.
A thick boy.
Hello.
704. I'm gonna fill it up to the 14 milliliter line with universal extracting solution. So this
All
is
right.
the universal extracting solution.
Perfect. Oh, that's pretty dead on. Nice job.
Oh yeah, thanks. Use the half-gram spoon to add 8 level measures of soil.
Is that little white one, or no,
Testing.
that's too small?
Let's see, we got a few different ones. That's 0.05.
Is it that one? It can't be that one.
0.05.
Same size.
Touching everything. Here we go.
right.
0.5.
And how many? 7?
I believe 8.
8.
8 level measures of soil.
All right. Do you have something to level it? Oh, you just. Oh, that actually is perfect.
My finger.
1. 2.
I think Matt would appreciate that. with the-
3. Yep. Oh, Sesame Street. 4. All right. Halfway there.
You are the math person.
Yeah, but I can't count, so I'm not the vampire guy. But I do love cookies, so I've always kind of had an affinity to Cookie Monster.
Oh yeah.
At least before he got all healthy and, you know,
8 fewer cookies.
yes.
Does he still eat cookies?
He does, but I think he teaches moderation now.
Instead of binging?
Exactly. Which, that's no fun.
Forgot your mic.
What's that?
Forgot your mic.
I have this one. All right.
Shake it for 1 minute.
Oh boy. You want a timer?
Yes.
Set timer for 1 minute. Oh, that didn't work.
Can we get some shaking music, please?
Close up, just like a marimba. It was cool. You guys were talking about flocculants, and something in the brewing industry as well. They use flocculation to help settle sediments out of the beer, right? Because the ultimate goal is to get it as clear as possible. And so after fermentation, that yeast needs to be cooled down so it starts to settle, as well as adding in a flocculant will help all that settle up so you can extract it and then rack the beer over that.
So that's why we added it,
Yeah.
to make all the dirt fall down.
All right, I think that's a minute.
Okay.
It was a fake. It was a fraud.
What?
Joke.
I think, yeah, that's been a minute.
I was trying to be funny.
You got me.
No, but now it's perfect.
1 minute.
So let's see. Hold on. We're on the second camera. Cool. So yeah, they were talking about flocculants and how they're using it in this test sample here. And I was thinking, in the beer industry, flocculants are often used to help settle some of the byproducts
and the heavy solids within the beer. And so the ultimate goal, right, when you think you're a clear beer, it's got that crisp look to it. And so if there was any sediment and things like that inside of it, It just adds to the overall taste because you have like a physical particle of it. Thank you. Yeah, so you have physical particles which would end up breaking down and then settling to the bottom of the tank. A cool thing about the tanks as well is they're conical. In order as the solids do fall down, they actually collect into a more condensed area, so it has less surface area on top of the beer. So it's kind of cool just thinking about the container shape with test tubes and things like that. All have a very specific use and function in terms of it. So,
Our fish tank broke.
the fish tank broke.
Now, I have a question.
Oh, the fish tank. Yeah, go ahead.
So is that why when people do home brews, a lot of times the beer will end up looking like that water from Back to the Future 3?
Yeah.
Like muddy and like can't quite see through it?
Yeah. Exactly. Murky almost.
Yeah. Definitely particulates in there, like yeast or something.
Exactly. So I always like to think of it, home brewing on the beer scale is more like wine. So with wine, you have the juices mostly on top of the skins, and then you just siphon off, and you try and keep leaving it, and then you just move it to another tank, and you try and do the most of it just by a gentle transfer of the liquid. Whereas like with beer, in modern beer, they're throwing it through centrifuges. They have plate filters and things like that, which are going to be able to get those hard solids out more efficiently. But on the homebrew scale, usually the guys just have the 5-gallon carboys, right? They're sitting there and they're just taking a hose and getting into it. And it works effectively, but in that method, you would have to do it more times to fine it. And I have to bring the mic up a little bit further. But now we're back. We've got the microphone in the right place, and I'm hoping you are hearing me loud and clear wherever you're tuning in from this week's Gardin Live podcast. That's right. We are out here in Braintree. We are talking about beer. We are talking about all the good stuff because now we're getting back to our soil sample. My time is over. I hope.
No, that was very informative. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I don't know if you guys heard that. JT just asked me to smell this, and I'm a little wary, but ooh, that's oh, that smells familiar, but I can't quite place it. What is that?
That is acetic acid and sodium acetate.
Okay, so it's almost okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's a acid and a base mixed together to make it a neutral buffer, and it was used to extract the salts from the soil to see what we got in there. So it smells like vinegar probably.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's a pretty dilute. It's like 3%. But we don't use that before we do the pH test. We do the pH test separately. And this is just gonna funnel out using that cone shape that I made out of filter paper. Where are the depression plates?
What is a depression plate?
It is.
Oh, never. That makes like something with a little dip in it.
Yeah, it's got a little divot in it.
And that's to collect the sample for testing. Okay. That makes sense.
I believe.
Has Matt been messing with your lab equipment again?
Yeah. Where are they? Well, doesn't really matter if it's in the plate as much because we got these white lids. And we can do it in the lid. We just need a white surface for it to be compared against so that we can do the pH test. And
all right, now there's still some soil at the top. And then it looks like there's a big empty section and then soil at the bottom.
yes.
And the soil, the water in the middle is definitely not clear, but I'm assuming that we want that dirtiness for the testing.
No, let's see how much particulate is in there. Sorry, I moved it on you. Yeah, we can let this settle out, but
I mean, I'm tempted to just poke that top bit down, but I know that's probably not.
oh, it's not gonna stay down, the stuff at the top. It's all got It's like vermiculite, some
Oh.
rice hulls, some little bubbles in there.
Okay, so it's legit floating. It's not just kind of stuck in there.
Yeah, it's just got too much air in it, or it's not dense enough to sink. So we have a few different tests we can do. There's these color indicators that you mix with your sample, and they'll change colors depending on the pH. And depending on what you think your pH is, you can start off at one spot and try a few different ones to get a more accurate number. Let's see. 1 milliliter, and then 2 drops of the indicator. So I have a
Oh, I haven't seen one of those in a very long time.
pipette.
That's more than I would have expected.
There we go. That is 1 milliliter. And we're gonna do two drops, duplex indicator.
All right. And that's what the color charts are going to be used for.
Yep.
Color charts.
See if we need to make it, let it settle out anymore. So,
All right, let's see if we can get a camera close up of this.
get a better light on it maybe.
I mean, it looks green to me from just the dirt. I don't really see any color to it.
Yeah, we may just need to let it settle out a little bit longer.
All right.
So while we're doing that, I believe we can do a humus test.
What kind of test is that?
And we can also do a leaf test if we want to do that on one of the citruses. But the humus test tells you like the organic portion of your soil. So we're going to do 8 level measures of soil to an extraction tube. Let's move these aside.
All right. And that's still the same spoon, right?
Yes.
What did we do with the spoon?
Perhaps.
Do you guys need a spoon?
We have a spoon.
Big spoon?
Oh, I left it in the dirt bag.
Oh, that's a good place for it.
Matt, give us back our spoon.
Where's my bottoms for my microphone? Look how orange I, dude. I was wearing orange sneakers earlier too. I was a little kid. Orange was my favorite color, and I think I might be regressing lately. Oh, I got to keep this over here, huh?
Andrew, what's your favorite color?
Blue. Always been.
Which blue?
Yeah, which blue?
Oh, good question. Like an ocean blue, like a rich, deep blue.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
What is
Like
ocean
this
blue?
color,
I would
maybe
think
a
of a
little
lot
darker?
of colors of blue. What's ocean blue?
like this?
That?
This, but like a little darker. But think
Like
of
my sleeve?
yeah, your sleeve is a good
But it's a bunch of shades of blue. The general,
general.
the average.
Yes, the average.
I like that.
The
Okay.
average.
What about you, JT? What's your favorite color?
Chartreuse.
I don't know what that is.
That's a green, I believe. Yes.
Yep.
right? Chartreuse.
It's
That's
br-
like, yeah, the
bright,
line
bright
that you
green.
see, like on like construction workers, that type of green.
Oh, sick.
Fluorescent.
Like that, but maybe a little bit brighter. Like
Okay,
if you
yeah.
put a black light on it, it would be glowing.
Chartreuse.
Isn't that the one?
I
that
would have
everybody-
thought that was like close to maroon.
See, that's what everybody thinks. It's like this weird thing
Yeah.
about the color chartreuse. Because
This whole orange mic thing's really backfiring right
you-
now, isn't it?
Do you know where the name of that color came from?
No, I haven't a clue.
Chartreuse, the drink, the alcohol, is that color.
I didn't even know there was an alcohol called chartreuse.
That's yeah, it's called that, and it's a
What's it taste like?
bitter. I think it's made by monks.
Like ocean? Let's go full cycle.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah,
It's
you
made by
might know
monks.
that.
What's that even mean?
Monks like to get drunk.
What type of monks, though? That's such a broad...
Oh, who knows? Who knows? Who?
What
Well, monks are all Catholic.
about like Buddhist monks?
Oh, that's fair.
Oh.
That's fair. I didn't think about that.
We don't talk about those.
Like there's monks of, I think it's like a general like
You're right. There is kind of a
dedication
okay.
to.
That is fair. I was thinking because it has a European sound to it.
Oh yeah, what about Dungeons and Dragons monks?
Yep.
Well, I don't think those are real, so I'm pretty sure.
What
they
about
did-
monk seals?
Oh, those are my favorite kind of
I
monks.
also want to talk about the Trappist monks, which are the beer brewing monks that live on top of the mountains. And brewing beer is the closest thing that they can get to God, right? It's like through work we find divinity. And so they just brew beer and they live jolly and they, yeah.
I hope we're zooming in on this.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you see that, like Saint Bernardas or whatever, right, the guy on top of the monk-looking guy, it's because the Trappists were they would do exactly as it said. So there's all these different types of monks.
Next week, if our robot shows up, bud, this is gonna be sick because it'll be zooming in on you, hopefully, or it'll be going wild because it has 360 degrees. It's gonna capture all sorts of stuff we don't want it to.
It's gonna be all over the place.
Oh, it's gonna be terrifying. Actually, now that I think about it, I am less excited
That's right.
So-
Tune in for next week's episode.
to meet the robot.
Question along those lines. I heard a story and I never was able to confirm if it's true or not. All right. So I heard that a bunch of the monks, when they were fasting, they would drink beer to stay, keep sustained. And the head of the monastery was like, "Well, our monks are getting rip roaring drunk and having a blast. This doesn't seem really holy." So he sent the cask to Rome. It's like, hey, look, during fasting, this is all my monks are consuming. Is this okay? And the Pope, being Italian and drinking fancy wines and everything, he took one sip of beer and was like, this is god awful. And he sent back to the head of the monastery, your monks are truly holy because they are dealing with this
They're drinking this swill, right?
terrible stuff. Is there any truth to that?
I'm not a historian in beer, only just a hobbyist, I guess you could say. So I can't say not. There's a lot of origin stories. One of my favorite beer origin stories is you think of witches, right? What's a witch, right? They're sitting off in the darkened woods, and they have this pot cauldron, right? Smoke is just emanating, and it's just like what they suspect is that those are actually what would be considered kind of
They would be considered like an alewife. And so, as you're saying, beer in its earliest sense, right? It was like it was a way to take non-potable water, to throw it through this fermentation, to kill those bacteria, to make it drinkable. And so, yes, you're saying the carbs, right? It is a filling beverage. It has more substance to it than that, right? But then also, it just tasted so bad, right? And so they're like, what can we do? And so often they would brew the beer, but they would throw in sprigs of spruce and, like roots and things like that were very flavorful as a way of making it more palatable just because it was so bad. And so they talk about, right, this lady, in the woods, right, whose cauldrons always brewing, and there's these things, and if you drink her elixir, you just start feeling outworldly, right? It's a spell, it's a potion, it's a curse, right? So that's my favorite, and I like to believe it that the witches are just alewives that had a potion. That potion was beer. So I'll have what she's having.
I think it was Franklin who said beer is proof that God exists and he loves us.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, JT, you shaking that thing good? Did you start a timer or do we need one?
He's got one. He's counting.
All right, we can't distract him.
95,
No, be nice. Be like JT.
It's an internal clock. He's been doing this so much, he just can feel it. I can tell.
All right. That is a fun one. I like that. I'm gonna remember that one.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a bunch of cool stories. And I love storytelling, and it's just like all this in story. And like we look at the soil, right? It's like that in itself is a story of all the things that have been, in nature at those different moments and breaking down through their different life cycles. But it's also big. So being able to really go into it with this science is way out of my realm. So I'm just excited to see these guys put this stuff together and learn more from it, even if it's just some of these small things. But it gives you the bigger perspective when you're doing your home gardening, or you're doing, they're talking about hydroponics as well. All of these things are so critical. And this is how we figure out what they do.
Yeah.
What's that one right there, JT?
Flocculating.
More flocculation. So I think the flocculants are some sort of crustacean. I don't know the specific science. I don't know if someone behind camera can look it up, but a lot of them, they say that they're non-vegan because they're made from crushed shells or something of the sort. I don't know. This is just something wild off of a past memory. So if I could get checked. Yeah.
So it's biological.
Polycrylamide.
Is that related to like?
That's a big
The
word.
things crow.
The things that whales eat.
Yeah. So that might be organic. Or probably is organic. Might be alive.
All right, let's get.
Here.
You want to put her back on this?
Yes, sir.
I guess we don't need that. Well, the orange thing does.
Damn things the sound
Yeah.
We gotta get a sound
All right,
check.
so we're going to talk to ChatJT. What was the question again?
What is flocculating?
Polycrylamide.
Wait, we probably don't need chat for that.
Yeah, polycrylamide is the fancy word to look up.
Yeah.
And bonus points you can spend on the first try.
I can't remember the word. I don't remember the word. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't either.
I'm gonna pull up. Yeah.
Actually, can I see the bottle?
I bet I bet I could spell it.
All right.
I bet I could.
P-O-L.
Wait.
This is
Oh my gosh! And the battery's about to go.
Oh, we
We're a
got
mess.
No.
I'm not. No, it's when I say we. All right. What's
P-O-L.
POL
Y-C-R.
YCR
Y-L-A-M-I-D.
MID.
All right, I would have been way off if I tried to spell that.
I just typed it in. What are we supposed to ask about it?
What is it?
What is it? And so it's the flocculant.
Okay.
So it's giving us a little bit more insight.
Let's do the little. I gotta log in here. That way I can do the audio thing. Can I get it?
Oh, we got power for your.
Oh, look at
Yay! Yeah, bud.
Teamwork. What's gonna work?
It goes on the other side.
How do I log in? I don't know.
Other side?
Yeah, this one doesn't have it. It's just USB-C.
Get in the century, man.
This computer. This is one of the Macs didn't have.
All right, so another filter.
Another filter. A cone. An origami cone inside of a regular cone.
What we need is a drip over coffee too. Just keep that going in the back, right? So it's the same process, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey Matt, want some coffee?
Yeah, I can really use some. What were you guys just talking about?
Filters.
Cool. Yeah, I love coffee. Tired. Oh yeah, that's my coffee. Actually, yeah. Coffee. I forgot. I'm going all orange today. Orange chair. Orange mic. Orange coffee.
Now we have to, regardless.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
And this is all coincidence. I swear. And I was wearing orange sneakers.
Sure.
And there's my orange. I do love orange stuff.
Hold on.
You know, I'm gonna start.
We should switch.
But you know what the thing? I almost bought an orange Tacoma. I wanted to get the white one, but they didn't have it in stock, and then I was like, it was like orange like that, and I decided against it. I'm glad I did. Have a white truck. It was cool in the moment, but then I think,
It's easier spot.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you never have to worry about
Losing it in the parking lot.
You know what I've lost? Regrets now. Regrets. Next
Not too late, man.
Yeah.
Bottle of spray paint at Home Depot.
We can get some
Let's take
spray.
care of it. Let's
Yeah.
take care of it. Upholstery.
Midnight project.
Upholstery. This stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah. Our parents have a 1960s Volkswagen, but it's the Westphalia, so it has the camper top and it has the original. So it's like that orange, green plaid, or like same sort of thing. Yeah, very cool colors.
Like the chair.
I was just gonna say, just
So
like
that
the
chair is older than me. It was in my parents' house, and it's falling apart now. And I'm bummed because reupholstering it is destroying, like it. But the fabric's literally deteriorating over there. But the upholstery is what made it. It was bright orange, like.
Right.
What's the pants that I don't remember? Remember corduroy pants? When was the last time you saw anyone wearing corduroy pants?
I believe the year started with a 1.
I'm gonna find corduroy pants. I think I have some.
If you go back to the last episode,
They're
those
comfortable.
Shorts I was wearing were corduroy shorts. I'm telling you.
You're right.
Yep. Corduroy's still cool, guys. I've been telling everybody for years. Corduroy's still cool.
I forgot about corduroy. And life's gonna change tomorrow for me.
Yeah.
Gonna get some sick cords.
You know, I've been rocking sweatpants for 20 years now. I was ridiculed, and then it came into fashion. For real.
You're a trendsetter, sort of.
Do you have
No,
any
it
pH,
was. I think I was just gave up way before the rest of society.
do you have any pH test strips?
Yeah.
Also, do you know where your well plates are?
What?
Or your depression plates?
What?
They're like white plate with one divot in it that's bigger than another divot.
I own these.
Yes. Oh, there's your pH paper
Yeah. Yeah.
behind you.
No, there's. Oh, these are pH testers. So wait, where would these plates come from? Are they part of the kit?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I try to keep that. Remember earlier we were driving and to the store, and I said, JT, the whole area over here. So JT, this was JT's work area years ago, and I was like, I don't mess with it still. It's your space. There's vials of stuff which I don't know what. Like if we want to look around here at JT's, this is JT's corner. Let's see what we can. Like, what's this? It's a blue solution.
You had the universal solution earlier.
So I don't know what anything is over here, like isotonic saline. I kind of know what that is. What's this?
What's it taste like, Matt?
Say on the lid.
What it tastes like? You put that on your lid?
SP
Nutmeg, yeah.
sulfur.
Oh, that looks yummy.
That looks like someone else's handwriting.
No. That's yours.
SP202.
Setup jar.
Someone set them up.
Sulfur phosphate?
Yeah, someone else put sulfur phosphate up there. It wasn't JT. Love it.
Why would I do that?
That was. It could be 5 years old.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
I know. I made sulfur phosphate with fertilizers.
See? Oh.
Oh, because it is a terpinator.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Well, think about the Terminator.
Okay.
Okay, wait. I'll tell you what Terpinator is. Terpinator is the muscle milk of plant supplements. Brah. Terpinator. Boost those terps.
Give the plants what they need.
So it's the stuff that the branding's amazing. It's the Terpinator. It's awesome. And then they have the Perpinator.
Oh, and that's got food color?
Yeah, but the thing about Terpinator I found was it seems like you can smell when it's been added. It's particularly popular with cannabis. I think only popular with cannabis.
And it's like a topical spray, or what was the
You water it in,
water in it?
and it smells great. It smells like a slush puppy. For real, we might have some. Should I go look for some? Let me go see. We might have some Terpinator.
That doesn't smell bad.
Oh, that is downright pleasant. Yeah.
Wait, is that Terpinator for real?
Yeah.
Like that's gonna smell like it.
I don't know if it smells like a slush puppy, but
I mixed it myself.
I get like a mint almost, or like a menthol sort of cool.
Doesn't quite smell like turp. It smells like turp
I bet they have
without the
Private
slush
turp.
puppy flavoring. I
They-
think they literally add slush puppy because it's like neon green.
Oh yeah.
They're like that works.
It's caustic.
Does it even exist
chemist
anymore?
and some chill grower, you know, who knows?
So I
Drinking a slush puppy spilled in. I bet a slush puppy would help. There's a lot of sugar.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
A long day out
Let me see
there
if I got
tending
some.
to his plants. He was hot, so he wanted a slush puppy. It makes total sense.
One for you, one for me.
it does kind of have a green color to it.
yeah, it's an interesting color for sure.
But it was magnesium sulfate, or magnesium sulfate. No, magnesium phosphate, sulfur chloride.
Oh, you don't stock it anymore?
It sold out because it was that good of a product, right?
It's that great.
That great.
Terminator.
All right. How are our
No.
samples looking?
You said it was
They're looking liquidy.
military time.
Oh, the pH was a 6
Okay.
based on these. I didn't do the other
So
test.
pretty much dialed to Coast of Maine, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Where's that paper? 6.4. I didn't test that accurately.
So we're at a 6 pH. Should we fill one of these out?
6-ish. Yep.
Oh, nice.
We got that. We got some pens here.
Nice.
You tell me what to write. I got it. Hopefully we can read it later.
We can write our name,
Okay.
lab team, or whatever. What are we?
We're the Gardin Lab team.
Yeah. Today is 4/11/25.
Yep, all day.
Sample number 00. Did you have a report? That was one.
One.
It's got to be two.
Yeah. We should take pictures of these
I like that.
because paper gets destroyed in this place.
Yeah, you mulch it.
Tested. We're doing those the same days, right?
So my hope would be our soil would be less fertilizer than Stonington blend. Stonington's considered pretty rich. Interesting. The magnesium was low on this. So I can hold this up to the camera and read it. Or I guess we already did. What? The Stonington. I'm just kind of reading through it.
It was the one that you tried to take a picture of while I was holding the camera.
So this is the most popular soil we sell here, or one of them. It's popular soil. As a super soil, I'd say, and
You said it's 6.
Yep.
yeah. So what would your target be? What would be? Let me ask Chad. What would be ideal parameters for a LaMotte Pro Soil test for houseplant soil? Because we're using that soil for houseplants. And I could say and raised bed. Let's ask both. All right, pH 5.8 to 6.5.
Can I play the voice of AI?
Yeah,
I'll read it back just because we don't have the screen.
awesome.
Great question, Matt. When testing houseplant soil with the LaMotte Professional Soil Test Kit, you'll want to look at parameters that reflect good container media health, not just traditional field soil. Houseplant mixes are often soilless, including peat, coco coir, perlite, etc. So optimal ranges differ slightly from garden soil. ChatGPT also gives us pretty much everything that's on our sheet here we're filling out. It's done a table, so that's pretty impressive. Giving ideal ranges for all of these things, so we can actually cross-reference the data they got before. Interesting. They're trying to get that set up right now, I believe, to get that on screen. Oh, look at that. Andrew, you are on top of the ball. Right there, dude. On top of it. Appreciate you. Let's see. What things do you take away from this? I'm not really a soil tester by any means of the word, so.
I'm not sure I'm the guy to ask, but
What things, would you be looking for kind of stand out to you in the information that it gives back?
all right. Let's see. Well, I mean, nitrogen obviously is something that plants need. Phosphorus makes sense. Potassium, calcium, magnesium.
Magnesium kind of surprises me a little bit. Soluble salts, well, that's what we're testing right now with the pH, and
Soil texture. Not applicable to the potting mix, as it says.
apparently not. So I wonder what the texture, how the texture would impact that. Is it just a matter of aeration and?
What I would imagine, it might be just like how it releases or reacts when like water passes through it, right? It's like they were talking about just doing soil testing and not being able to like trust the source of it, just because this section could be vastly different from the other. I remember I was working at a winery up in New York in the Niagara Escarpment region, and we had this area that it was like a clay deposit. It was a little bit deeper, and all of the plants that kind of followed this vein across the entire vineyard had noticeable difference, you know, if there was like a wet season or things like that, because it just had that reaction. And I would imagine, and my guess, like that soil texture is very similar to that, right? Because it's like, okay, is it leaching or is it containing a lot of these things? But yeah, interesting.
Absolutely.
And then of course organic matter. Well, we know that you know that's going to be in any soil you test. Should be in any soil you test. But now that I think about it, if you've ever been to like Yellowstone, for example, they got all those places where, because Yellowstone's an active volcano, so there are spots where the sulfur has just killed everything.
Really?
Oh yeah, you'll see trees that are just like white, like just the trunks with maybe a branch or two, and just absolutely dead. And you know, you don't see any animals on them. You know, it's wild.
I remember going out west, there was the petrified forest, where it was something similar, right? There was just like the atmospheric conditions after an eruption of, I think it was like Crater Lake or something north on it, as it came down, just burned, transitioned this, and it like fossilized it, right? It's a cool place if you're ever out west, or if you are out west and you're tuning in. It's probably pretty early in the day, so yeah, that would make sense. No.
That was
Yeah,
3 hours back,
3
so.
hours back. So I mean, yeah, they're not up as late as we are. But they're not that bad. But
So yeah, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think. Don't trust me with arithmetic though, because I can't count.
I use my fingers and I'm missing a few, so it doesn't work for me. I'm not actually missing fingers. I've been able to keep all my digits, even as a laborer, and that can be tough. I've seen some pretty scary stuff.
Well, it reminds me of like something you say about untrustworthy people, like car salesman. He's the type of guy you shake his hand, you want to count your fingers after.
Yeah.
All right, JT, what are we looking at here?
This is a potassium test that we're doing.
All right.
So I put potassium reagent tablet B into this.
So potassium reagent. So what does a reagent do?
So after you agent something, or if it gets unagented,
It has to be reagented.
yeah,
Reagented, yeah.
that's a chemical, like a mix.
Okay, so basically it's just pulling the potassium out and finding a way to make it measurable.
Yep. And
Isolate it.
a lot of these work because like certain chemicals change color when they're exposed to this other element.
Yep. Now, is it a matter of the bonding and creating a new chemical?
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. That is pretty fascinating.
Yeah. And so the thing I was telling Matt about earlier was if you use a spectrophotometer and you have a known concentration of the salt that you're looking at. So say we did like 10 of these with different known amounts of potassium in it. Then we can put that into the spectrophotometer and plot a line. And then when we take our unknown sample from our soil, put that in the machine and it'll show up on the line somewhere. And then you know the exact amount of potassium you have.
Oh, wow. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So it's a linear function, though.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. You don't see those very often in nature.
Yeah, it's just like it gets more orange as more potassium goes in, kind of,
Yep.
to a certain point.
So we have a cool solution I just learned about recently as I took this job.
Working a new, they use phenolphthalein. I don't know if you've heard it. And so we use a lot of caustic cleaners, and a way to make sure that all of the cleaner has been exited after a cleaning cycle, you would just test the outlet, whatever's coming out of the tank, usually water, hopefully with just water, and that's how you can know if it's to a certain degree of.
Classic chemistry titration that you learn how to do titration with is phenolphthalein and like some sort of a basic solution. So you just drop a specific amount of this phenolphthalein, drop by drop by drop, until it changes color, and then you'll know exactly, like, I think how basic it is, kind of.
Right, and so this one, if dropped in, it turns
Dark purple, like a magenta, right?
Yep.
And so the idea is to get it to just become, translucent. So, super cool connection.
So we got,
That looks like Tang. If I were to describe that color of orange, I don't know what the range is, but I say that's Tang orange. Yeah.
It might be. I should not drink that stuff, dude. I heard it's pretty good. I think that should also go into Matt's corner when he comes back too, because it fits his total vibe, dude.
It does. I mean, it's the right color. Oh wow, that is a zoomed up view. But ooh, yeah. Oh, do you wanna?
Ooh, that's got a potent nose to it.
Oh.
Wafting, right? They say never stick your nose or anything you're supposed to.
Ooh, yeah, that is kind of vinegary, but
Yeah.
turned vinegar.
Like, that's what I want my salt and vinegar chips to taste like.
Like when you think of like the potent salt and vinegar, seldom found.
Holding up science?
yep,
Ah, that was not my intention.
Get your grubby paws off my vial.
my science.
No.
Nom, 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 nom. Is that better?
I mean, Matt likes the orange.
That's right.
All right, so
So we're looking for a precipitate to form.
no, it's been a long time since high school chemistry. What is a precipitate?
It's something that, like, when you have a liquid and some solids start to like sprinkle out.
I had a feeling that was it, but
Yep. Just like, well, and if you have a precipitate in gas, it's a liquid falling out of the like precipitation.
yeah, that makes sense. Because I mean, that's where my mind went to, but I was thinking only gas to liquid. I mean, it's hard to tell, but it almost looks like little dust in there. Oh, you found the plates.
No, this is a line plate,
Oh. Not a depression plate.
not a depression plate. All right. So we're going to take a transfer pipette and we're going to put it in until we can't see the line anymore.
All right, well, you got the best view for it, but I'm going to peek through anyways.
Yeah, you whew, almost lost it.
Seems like it's going to be quite a bit.
Yep. And so the more we add,
The less phosphate
yep,
makes sense. All right, at least from here it's starting to look a little murky.
yeah.
I don't exactly have the best view though.
Want some Sour Patch Kids?
I'm good, thanks.
There you go.
Okay, we're at 180.
All right, so what's that say about our phosphate levels?
That says they're at 180.
Yeah, that's higher than coast of Maine, which was at 150.
All right, this is potassium.
Yep.
Uh,
Pounds per acre available is what it's measured in.
wait,
apparently.
phosphorus or potassium?
Potassium.
All right, so it is, and you said 180?
Yep.
All right, so yeah, this one is 100, not 150.
No, phosphorus was 150.
Yeah, but we're dealing with potassium.
Oh, you're on potassium? I thought you said phosphorus.
Nope. Nope.
Sorry.
No, no worries.
Excuse me, sorry.
So yeah, so we're much higher, but this does say lowest, and I can't read. Is that Mandy's handwriting?
Yeah.
Blue link resale.
Lowest black line visible. Lowest black line visible.
Oh, okay, that's the same thing we were doing. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Where's the black line?
So it's on that plate. Can you see the
Okay,
plate?
okay.
So you drip it in until you can't see the line from above.
Got it.
And I want to take a peek if you don't mind. I don't know, I can still sort of see it, but
You can?
just a shade though.
Yeah, I can still kind of see it too.
Like, can you get a straight down shot?
I mean, wouldn't this depend on how much light you're giving it?
Maybe.
We are giving it a lot of light, probably. Possibly? I don't know. See? One more reason why. I'm sus.
Oh, you can see it well with the camera.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to look at the camera. Guess my eyesight isn't great.
I mean, it does look darker. Yeah, see how now that it's shaded, though, it's harder. I can't see it anymore.
I can't see it on the screen, but the screen's just far
You
enough
could
away.
zoom in on that too, I think, if it's a picture-in-picture or. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I can
Wow.
almost see where the line should be,
Look
but
at
I
that.
can't really see it. That is just, if you didn't know what you were looking at, that would just be such a weird image.
These, by the way, are yours?
Mine?
Yeah, these are mine. Let's just split the bag up evenly.
And we're going to test them, see how much soil's in them.
Nothing to look at.
Okay.
All
Did you
right.
notice anything?
Yes, yes, that fits your motif.
Yes. You can have one. They are better. Don't you really want one now? Straight orange.
All right, yeah, I do kind of want one. just because I was denied.
Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, like if you told me I couldn't have a red one right now, I'd really want a red one. Can I have a red one?
Of course.
I don't want it, man.
No, you
I'm
can't.
not for. Where am
I mean, sometimes.
I? Yeah. I don't know. 40 years ago.
Well, thank you for sharing your Sour Patch Kids.
You can't have any more.
Okay.
Help yourself, bud.
If you eat a yellow and a red together, I think they make orange.
I mean,
That's so true. Probably be better. It'll be
All
like
right. So this is for calcium, I can see.
That it is.
So it's a gray.
Do we have a waste
grayscale.
beaker?
I would worry if there was something I'd worry about being low in this, it would be calcium.
Matt, do we have a waste beaker?
What is a waste beaker?
Someplace to put all the
Oh, a waste
waste
beaker?
beaker.
I thought you said waste speaker. Some disposal vial?
The floor is okay, right?
No, please. Here.
It's just back in the soil. Oh, that's cool. This is our secondary science experiment. That's probably not safe to do, but it's okay.
What's that?
Put the empty ones in this little guide accumulator or something? Or does that work? Or?
Yeah, we'll put them elsewhere.
Yeah, wherever you want.
That's the dirty side.
Easy enough. Easy enough. All right. So calcium is next.
Calcium's next. So what we're gonna do, get the calcium test solution.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, it should
All right.
say.
Just gonna stick that right there. How's that, guys?
So our phosphorus, where are we? Are we writing this?
Oh, we haven't been writing yet.
It was
you hand me the pen?
140.
140 for the
What about
potassium.
nitrate? Did you? What else?
I didn't do
Oh,
nitrate.
just phosphorus.
Phosphorus, pH. We have the.
So phosphorus was 140.
Yes. No, potassium.
Potassium was 140.
Yep.
Yeah. And for the 6, it was 6.0.
Yeah, that's as accurate as we can get.
All right. And then what was the phosphorus? Did we measure that?
No.
Oh, okay. So
5 drops, general soil. Okay.
So our phosphorus. I'm telling Chat, JT, our phosphorus 40.
no potassium.
Did we do phosphorus, JT?
No.
No. Why do I? What's wrong with me?
They both have
I have
Ps.
been here.
They both start with P's. They're next to each other on the form.
I have been here for 13 hours today. In this,
It's been a long day.
You know what? That just means I need. And you know what else? I realized I didn't drink my coffee. So
Would
I
you-
should do it now. That's 9.
Would you like to
Yes.
do the honors of adding 1 drop to this?
Oh boy, I feel so special. All right. There we go.
You did science.
I did science. I'm a science guy.
Now we're going to gently swirl it.
Our potassium's dialed.
Dialed, as
Yeah.
ChatGPT says.
So you know how I mix the soil? Like a good soup. I just kind of like looked at it and threw it around and said that looks right and put a bunch of old soils together with an idea of what was in it. I was like, that's got some, you know. But I'd worry the thing I'm worried about is calcium. My expectation is I haven't added lime to it. I'll need to, but there was some chicken litter with lime, but some of it can be, yeah.
Now, does this need to be viewed from straight above as well?
Yep, so we're going to try to see where the gray matches when you look at the black.
All right, and it's ready to go?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So let's take a peeky here. I mean, to my eyes, it looks like it's 1400, but I don't know. I don't feel like this is my strength.
I'd say maybe between 1400 and 2800. I mean, it looks too dark for 2800.
Yeah. It's too light for 1000. I think it's 1400.
All right, and that was the calcium.
Yep.
So 1400, and that's measured as parts per million. Which, when you think about it, is a very, very low percentage. So let's ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT, all right. So it's saying that ideal range for houseplants is between 1,000 and 1,500. So I'd say we're in a pretty good range.
That is between those.
My only concern is that it looks like it might be a little light for 1,400, which would put it on the north side of 1,400. But I'd say we're pretty good. I'm going to make a note of that, though. Maybe a little higher. All right. So what do we got next, JT? I mean, I'm showing nitrate, nitrogen, phosphorus, aluminum, or as they like to say in England, aluminium.
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 So we're going to look at the humus. I think it is ready.
Hummus?
Hummus. Matt, do you like hummus?
What's that?
Do you like hummus?
I love hummus, yeah. I mean, I like eating just about anything.
Hummus is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely not bad. But if that's the scale we're looking at, then the color's pretty close, actually. All right, so for hummus, JT is not helping us on that one.
So we need good light. But it looks like 5 to me.
I would agree. It's too dark for 4. All right, can we? Whoa, hold on. There we go. Sorry, I am not good with this thing, but.
No, you're doing great. That was a great capture.
Yeah, I would say 5. Wouldn't you guys agree?
That's pretty much there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it compared to 4 and 3.
This is actually
Tang with a little less sugar.
This is actually getting embarrassing. So Sour Patch Kids were a joke, but this actually wasn't a joke.
Yeah, check it. That's actually Gatorade orange too.
Yeah,
That's about the same color.
I really feeling orange. What's that mean? I'm gonna ask Chad. Everything I chose today was orange.
Can we compare that to you?
No. 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 This is literally shades of orange.
Yeah.
Which shade of orange do I feel today? 4.
You're a 4?
I'm a 4.
Well,
Looks happy.
your soil's a 5.
Oh, my soil's a 5.
Yeah.
Is that good?
I don't know. ChatJT is not answering that for us.
Hummus 5 good on LaMotte Soil Tech.
Oh, we're all over the place.
Got you too.
It depends.
All right, I'm going to put this down because I am not
Great.
good with toys.
5's great.
Thank you.
It just measures the organic matter.
Great for most soils. Ideal for containers.
Yes.
If it was an
It's ultimately,
agriculture,
like,
3
the
is
amount of
high.
organic matter, right? So yeah, that's cool. That's what I was like. That's the feel part that really.
So what is the
can
units
eyeball.
it's measuring?
Oh, low, medium, high.
Yeah,
So no units. All right.
perfect.
So 5 is really good for
potted plants.
But if this is your agricultural soil, it's way higher than you would expect.
Yeah. So if you were compost, like 9 to 10 is too high.
I don't think there's a too high.
Over 10. Very high. Common in compost or peat heavy mixes. How about 30? Is that possible?
No.
Let's see what it says.
Way beyond what you would
Likely
expect.
pure organic media. It seems confused. 30 plus is normal for potting soil.
30
With
what?
high peat or
What?
compost.
Yeah, sometimes chat, it totally misinformed me.
Ask it.
I thought isopropyl alcohol, I think I misinformed the public, told me it was dangerous to mix isopropyl and hydrogen peroxide because they create a toxic gas, and I literally screenshotted it, then asked it again like a month and a half. JT's like, no it doesn't. And it was like, I didn't say that.
I mean, here's the thing, like AI is just as smart, only as smart as the places that it's pulling resources from.
True.
So, you know, it's going to pull from people who are fallible.
Yeah, maybe it's also supposed to evaluate its resources.
It should, but I mean,
That was a surprising mistake.
I mean, look, it's not
But I will tell you this.
Smart.
The time I mixed hydrogen peroxide and isopropyl, my eyes were burning for a long time after. So I do wonder if there were any additives in it. That,
Did you spray it out of a spray bottle?
yeah.
or you aerosolized it.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
No. But not like mist. I sprayed to apply it and then wiped it around.
Yeah.
okay.
Probably. And it probably
but then
hurt
I did
more
spray
than.
my eyes a couple times.
Well,
And
I
my
mean-
eyes were burning. I don't know why.
But they didn't burn before, so it was that stuff burning your eyes.
Yeah, yeah. So how's the calcium going? That's the one I'm worried about.
1400.
1400.
Yep. So it's maybe a little bit on the. It might be a little higher than
I'd
1400.
rather, yeah.
It's on the
Calcium.
high range, because it said it wants it
1400.
up to 1500
Cool.
is what it said originally.
I feel like excellent, it says.
You can
See,
test
1000
plant
to
tissue as well.
1500 is the ideal range.
I like it a little high.
Well, it definitely
That's
is.
great.
It might even be a little bit higher than 1400, but
My sense is when calcium gets depleted, it's hard to replenish, and also everything else goes haywire.
yeah, how would you replenish calcium?
Lime, but then you mess with the pH, so calcium nitrate, magnesium nitrate.
Yeah, you want to do salts instead of.
Calcium hydroxide is like what is I think calcium hydroxide, which it's funny, I don't see it as a product, but what is the best way to provide calcium without any other nutrients?
He's like a child sometimes. He needs somebody to dress him, and you know.
I do. That's why the sweatshirt from yesterday with the
With the
salad
stain.
dressing stain. Yeah.
Mandy's.
I still think my favorite stain was Costa Rica, but
Oh, God. That was rough.
First time I ever saw.
Jeff, I'll let you.
tell them.
yeah. So we took a trip to Costa Rica many years ago. A lot of fun. First day we're there. We're in this tropical paradise on the beach. Everything is beautiful, and there are howler monkeys in the trees. And Matt and I are like, let's go take some pictures of howler monkeys. Well, we're not in this resort for more than 15, 20 minutes, taking pictures of howler monkeys, and one of them poops on Matt.
Oh, it was better. I remember vividly. So I had a camera. I was shooting, and I actually have a picture. We should pull it out. I'll try to
Oh,
find
God.
it. I forgot about this. So, looking back on the photos, there was poop coming out from the photo. It was the first time I ever saw a monkey in the wild. And I stayed there and took the shot. Don't sit right under. And it came down and hit me square in the chest, and just missed my mouth, and that would have been a bad.
Oh,
Good
God.
hours from the hospital.
I've-
And then Jeff said, I just remember you said, they're throwing stuff at us.
No, you said that.
Did I?
Yeah, because you got hit.
I actually got hit.
I didn't think we figured out what happened until
and they
after.
cleaned my shirt, and I still own that shirt.
It still had a stain. My favorite part about that whole story is when we went to the desk and we're like, Matt's like, I'm sure this happens all the time, but a monkey pooped on me. And the staff burst out laughing. And the guy at the front desk was like, no, this is the first time this has happened. 15 minutes, that's how long we were there.
Lucky me.
Uh,
Worth it.
All right, so what did we just test and
Still
what are we looking
best
at?
day of my life.
Did we test something while I went on my long,
yeah, we finished it.
which one?
The calcium.
Calcium test.
Oh, we need the well plates for everything else.
Oh, and we don't have those. Boo.
Maybe Mandy knows where they are.
What?
We need the
What do
plate.
they look like?
They're. Chat,
You don't
what
see
is a
them right
well? I do not.
Okay.
But I'm not very good at looking for things.
What do they look like? Like plates?
Little, they look like the line plates, but with depressions instead of a line, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you see the line plate? Like that, but with a depression.
And they're
in the-
definitely not in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to see if I can find a picture. Here it is.
Okay. Yeah, I remember those things.
It's got an interesting look to it.
Yeah, it looks like a spoon indent.
We are out of luck without those, huh?
Yes.
Well, it's about our usual level of organization.
Oh, they might be in that basket, maybe? The green basket?
Feel like joining me, or should we just call it?
Well, was there anything else we were going to do tonight?
Did you want to go over some of the updates on the projects, and I can
If
look?
you guys want, or I can look if you. I want to try to find this if you want. And those are used across the board for the rest of the tests. Or?
Yep. All the other tests need them.
Okay, we probably should go. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I apologize. Can we makeshift something, or is it kind of a?
Let me look at the instructions, and maybe we can makeshift something.
Okay. Well, let me call me. Oh, I can't.
I could do it in one of the caps for this one, because we're just comparing the color. So do you want you wanted to do phosphorus next?
Hey, you don't happen to know where the little depressions are for the soil test kit?
Oh,
Depressions for the soil test kit.
Depression plates.
The depression plates for the soil test kit.
All right, hopefully Mandy can help find those things.
phosphorus B2, phos B. Phosphorus reagent. Phosphorus test tab. Okay. We can do the phosphorus one without it.
All right, let me keep looking. Maybe did not know.
Oh, maybe they're with some of the, like the cleaned jars that you washed out to drink. Add 6 drops of this. Cap and shake it. Then I need the phosphorus color chart.
All right, I think I've helped Matt as much as I can.
1 phosphorus tablet.
Now that tablet is actually phosphorus.
Potassium
Or is it just the tablet used for phosphorus?
chloride.
Ooh, pretty color blue.
Sorry. I'm not finding it, but it seems like you guys find a workaround.
This is for the phosphorus test. And then what else did you want to look at?
Whatever you guys want to run. I mean, the more the merrier, but also, I know it's getting kind of, it's up to you, JT.
We
What
have
do you think we should do? I'll leave it to you.
we have sulfate tests and magnesium that we can test.
As much or as
And
little as you
whoa,
want to test.
that is,
We could test all of it if you want. So phosphorus.
it's above 200.
Phosphorus is above 200, which is kind of shocking. What even in there would have added phosphorus? Very high. Wow. Locks out micronutrients like iron, zinc, and copper.
So theoretically, you'd want to bring the phosphorus
Now
levels down.
soluble once bound to calcium or iron, so it builds up. May reduce beneficial mycorrhizae. Too much bloom booster fertilizer. Compost-rich soils. Bone meal. What did I put? What's in there?
Now, JT, is it possible that because we're not using the right equipment, we're getting a false high reading?
This is using the right equipment.
Oh, okay, so this is not one that required the
surprised me that
pressures.
the phosphorus is so high. It shocks me. What should we do?
How do you get rid of phosphorus? Well, we can just increase everything else. So that comparatively,
Oh, we need the chat reader, bud. We need the chat reader.
The chat reader?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll read the chat.
You did great.
All right.
All right, switch cams, bud.
Which microphone am I supposed to speak in?
Oops, drop this on.
Perfect. So, want to geek out? If you're planning a video, weird. Great. Let's put together a game plan based on your houseplant soil having over 200 ppm of phosphorus. Since your calcium 1400 and potassium 140 are in great shape and humus is high 30, the main issue is phosphorus overload. What you should do step by step. 1. Stop all phosphorus input. Do this immediately.
oh no, get the phosphorus input out of there.
Get it out of there! Switch fertilizers to one with low or no
Are you guys
phosphorus.
eating at the chemistry thing?
Look for 513-302 or fish emulsion with the low P type. Avoid bloom boosters, bone meal, bat guano, and super phosphate. 2. Leach the soil to flush excess phosphorus and salts. Water with 3 to 5 times the pot volume using plain pH balanced water around 6.0 to 6.5. Let it fully drain. Don't let pots sit and run off. Do this every 2 to 3 weeks for a month or two, then retest. 3. Dilute or refresh the soil. If flushing isn't enough or if plants are struggling, option A, mix in the fresh phosphorus-free media. Blend your current mix 50-50 with Coco Core and Perlite. Inert peat-based mix, biochar.
That's a good idea.
Optional, helps retain the calcium and reduce leaching loss. Option B, repot entirely, especially if plants are small or showing signs of lockout. Choose a clean, low-nutrient potting mix. 4, monitor for micronutrient lockout. Too much phosphorus blocks iron, which is the yellowing between leaf veins, zinc, copper, manganese, which all stunt growth. The use is a foliar micronutrient spray with chelates, like feta. Chelates?
Chelates.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. It was just, they spelled it wrong. Chat's having issues.
It has
spelling
a
today.
French accent.
Oh, the chelates. Like feta or a microblend. Or CalMag plus the micros in the water, which is a low P version. And then it says, as all good scientists should, retest in 4 to 6 weeks. After leaching and dialing in your mix, run the LaMotte P test again to confirm you're trending down.
So no more pee in that soil, Matt.
No more urine?
No, I'm sorry, phosphorus.
I thought it was good for the...
Okay, so I can keep peeing in there?
You can keep peeing in there.
Sweet. That's what's going to dial it back.
So we want to dilute it and then just add other nutrients instead.
All right, so let's put a plan together for it. Phosphorus. So what are we thinking? We should basically add in more inert media.
Yep, so we're going to do peat or cocoa,
Yep.
some biochar,
Some biochar.
and then you're going to want to add probably something like high in potassium and nitrogen, calcium.
Although our calcium was already on the high side, but
But
our
that's
phosphorus
not a-
was so high.
Yeah, that's probably a little
4x
yeah.
high.
So we need some
So
micronutrients.
we literally need 4 times the amount of media just to dilute it effectively.
Or we can take,
Like that's basically a super bloom booster in there.
yeah.
Sick.
So you could, if you
It's
wanted
a
to,
great top dress.
yeah, for your citrus.
My citrus are finally okay. I'm not gonna even. I wonder if like, that's one of the complicated things. You start boosting certain things. I remember one time there was a fertilizer person selling monopotassium phosphate ultimately in a bottle, and they're like, no, you can add this to any regimen, whatever you're doing, you can't overdo it. And I was like, it's potassium and phosphorus. I was like, when you start adding too much of that, what happens? It locks out calcium. Like what exactly?
Yeah.
What do plants look like with too much phosphorus? Plants look like with too much phosphorus. Because I have a hunch excess phosphorus is way more common than people realize. Okay, iron deficiencies, totally something I see. Interesting, saw that with the citrus. Zinc and manganese deficiencies, small mishap in leaves, stunted growth, copper deficiency, rare. Salt stress symptoms, leaf edges turn brown or crispy, lower leaves yellow and drop, soil stays damp, but plant looks thirsty. You know, this is eye-opening. I'm excited. Like whether one reason or not, I'm going to start keeping my eyes. I think the moral of this whole story to me is, soil tests are worth it even from the intellectual process. Maybe the phosphorus, clearly, I think that's makes sense, right? I'll keep my eye out, although the plants I've been putting in that soil seem to be doing well. That's the other thing, but I guess that's a new batch. But it's worth checking and even minimally keeping your eye out for. Now I'm minimally going to keep my eye out for these symptoms and know what it is. So
Yeah, because you're probably looking for deficiencies usually,
yeah,
and you don't normally notice excess
Am I-
unless it's nitrogen.
yeah, totally. So all right,
So I think you could maybe take some of this and mix it with an inert media
Yep.
and then fertilize with something else. Or you can dilute this by 4 times.
I'm trying. Okay, so I'm wondering what that is. So that does come from. I wonder. You know what? I
Bone
think that
meal.
might have had actually one of my old tomato pots
And so I layered really thick fertilizer on the bottoms of those
Yeah.
as like a super soil.
Oh, so you did
And
that
I
with
wasn't
bloom.
concerned with excessive, like way excessive amounts of phosphorus if it was planted consistently within it. So that could be a great bottom layer, especially with all its aeration. Maybe I'll just use that for the bottom of some container mixes.
Yep.
I'll take like 2/3 of that out for that purpose, keep the remainder, dilute it, and use it as a base soil.
Yep. You might have to add some nitrogen. We didn't test the nitrogen, but you probably still.
Yep.
Probably some micronutrients if you
Yep.
dilute it.
Yep. Yeah.
So maybe dilute it with some earthworm castings.
Worm castings, right?
Yeah.
That could be good. Worm castings, maybe like worm castings, rice hulls,
Kelp.
kelp, rice hulls, cocoa, biochar, worm castings. Because the pH was already on the low side, so I don't know if I want to add peat.
Yeah, no, probably
Calcium's
cocoa.
high. How was magnesium? Did we test for that?
We did not.
But how was potassium? Was kind of high?
Yeah, it was kind of high.
You have to be careful with potassium and cocoa. So maybe, but still, I think worm castings, yeah, my plan will be to add worm castings, rice hulls, biochar, probably skip on lime, maybe a little bit of lime, small amount of lime, just to keep that calcium and magnesium up, especially where I'm going to be worried about phosphorus locking it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe
Cool.
some micronutrients. Oh, but that's the.
Yeah. Maybe we
And-
should.
Let it cook for a little while, see what pops up.
Yeah. You know, I'm actually kind of interested. Now this makes me want to send out a sample to UMass or Logan Labs or some other. I want to send one to a public, one to a private place and see what they get back. It'd be interesting to see what
Yeah,
the test
compare
results
'em.
are. Let's find out. So, cool.
So you want to dry the rest of this at room temperature and then send it out like that?
What do you think? You tell me.
I think maybe lay it out flat on the table so it'll dry and won't have anything that leach into it.
Yeah.
And then put it into 2 bags and send them out.
You're supposed to send it dry.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless they're doing a biologic test, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, don't. We should do that.
We can do that, yeah.
Yeah. We need a better camera for that.
We can hook up the
You
phone
notice I got a
one.
macro lens.
Just get like a super macro zoom in on the soil.
Yeah. Yeah. Put the macro on the microscope. We gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
Break a bunch of gear. So cool. Do we want to catch up on any of the old stuff?
Yeah. How are so the citrus are doing well?
Yeah. Well, they went downhill. I think the lights are off in there right now. But we can. Let me see. You want to go or you want to see the mushrooms? I'm actually kind of interested.
Yeah.
Let's check the mushrooms out. Because I do need to actually move these. I think this is kind of interesting because the reason why I want to check these out, we set this guy up in this basket and it's just never fruiting correctly. I'm going to break all this down. There's some algae and stuff growing
Yeah,
in
I
here.
saw the algae in there earlier.
So I'm going to reset these. These guys fruited a little bit, but I'm going to break these guys up and make some new bags out of them. But it's been interesting. I went into this basket. Ultimately, there was so many areas for it to fruit. I could never get it to fruit in an effective manner. The other
Yeah,
bags
too
are just
many.
on their 3rd flush, and they're just, this front one actually looks like it's going to go. But either way, I'm going to break these guys up and make some big bags of oyster mushrooms in here.
So the algae found a way into that bag. I saw a little larvae in that bag too.
You did this, JT.
With the area.
You did this.
Where's the rest of that?
I took it out. It was getting messy and gross and creating issue, I think.
Did I send you the photos of my
But
jar?
this is interesting because it's super dry and also getting contaminated. But luckily, oyster mushrooms are amazing. You can just spray them with what my plan will be for this is I'm going to spray them with hydrogen peroxide, so that way the outside of the mycelium block, even if it's killed, the inside is what I'm going for, and it's pretty sterile because I'm only worried about contamination around the outside right now. If I let it go, it would get worse. It would get deeper into this.
So I showed you my jar with that. I have a little like mushroom like this floating in the algae.
Yeah.
So it keeps just growing out that size, dying off, and then like flopping into the water. The algae grows up on it, and then another one pops out.
That's awesome. I mean, look at this. This has just been continuously trying to fruit. It's just too much fruiting options. It's like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
So,
A million little ones.
but yeah, it's pretty late, guys. It's 10.
Wow.
Should we wrap up and say goodnight to everyone? What do you guys think? It's been fun. Anything else? Anything else anyone wants to see?
How are our seedlings?
Seedlings. Oh, you want to see them?
Yeah.
Mandy did beautifully repotting all of them, or most of all of them, or I guess there's half over here, but they're doing well, very well.
I told you I found a blackworm in the flood table earlier.
Sick. Yeah, they're doing good. They were getting a little deficient,
Oh yeah.
but they're looking good now. I foliar sprayed with microbe feed in CalMag, actually, calcium nitrate, magnesium nitrate, and iron, and it really helped them. Same with the citrus. My citrus was struggling with calcium and magnesium. It was just underfed, I think.
Too much phosphorus.
Sick. So Patrick, I literally cannot operate that gimbal.
No.
You should see my footage. It's terrible. You make it look so easy, man.
Oh, did anything pop up in the greenhouse?
Let's check it out. Oh, the oyster. No, I haven't seen anything. Let's go check it out, though. Yeah, we love wrapping up there. Check these out. These are some of the other guys.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna still get repotted, but Manny split all those other guys up. Yeah. Yes, it's looking pretty lush in here. The praying mantis disappeared.
Huh. Mine didn't hatch yet.
Really?
Yeah.
They hatched. I had some videos. One, I had a spider eating one that was tangled, and then another one kind of attacking the spider.
Whoa.
I haven't seen any of them. Why? I thought they do. They usually do. Let's see to eat. Oh yeah, we need to go. We're too far. It's okay. We'll go back. Yeah, we gotta take the computer. Sorry, guys. Yeah. We need to bring the computer. Well, that's all right, guys. Sorry we lost you there. We will.
Oh, we're still out, I think. Yeah, I still got no camera.
Okay. That's okay. We got this camera.
Nope. Everything went down. Yay!
Everything went down? Uh-oh.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, we're back. All right. Hey, everyone. Sorry about that. Well, maybe that's a sign. It's pretty late, and we've enjoyed tonight. Thank you, everyone, and
Whoa.
until next week, we're out of town, but we're liking the Friday nights, so I think we're going to stick with Fridays at 8 moving forward. Not next weekend, but the weekend after. So what would the date be? Does anyone know? What are 2 Fridays from now? The 25th?
25th, yep.
Sounds good. I can do math. And on that note, have a great evening, everyone.
Oh wait.
Wait.
Where's the air horn?
Air Hornet.